No!
Pee-yusa.
I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. These are some of the things that you will not see or hear in Star Wars The Force Awakens. The prequels are gone and Star Wars is back! What is up, guys? Nico here from the Silver Screen Dudes, and bringing you the latest in the Silver Screen news. And what bigger news do we have than the review for the biggest movie ever made? So after 3 years, with J.J. Abrams at the helms and armed with thousands of people to help him in the Herculean task that was erasing the memory of the prequels and bringing back the biggest franchise in the world, J.J. has done it. Star Wars, people, is back. So the film starts off with kind of a dark tone, and that permeates throughout the whole movie. You've got Oscar Isaac's character Poe Dameron. He's talking to Max von Sydow, and literally straight away, you know what hits the fan. Kylo Ren lands, the First Order land. But even before that, I've just got to mention this. From the very first line of that famous crawl, I was brought into this movie, and it did not let me go. I left the cinema with pain in my face from smiling so much. The movie, let's cut to the chase. The movie is brilliant, and I'm doing everything I can. If you guys are regular watchers, you know that I'm a big Star Wars geek. And I'm doing everything I can to quell my fanboydom in this review, but it's very hard. And I think that is testament to the movie. Do you know what? Let's start off with the positives. The positives are, well, it's not the prequels. This movie just harkens back to the great age of the original trilogy. The acting is solid. I thought that the newbies, you know, people like John Boyega and Daisy Ridley were going to be maybe the weak links held up by the original cast. Not the case at all. The acting is superlative from all of the new cast. Kylo Ren is not what we all feared. He's not just, you know, a cheap man's Darth Vader. He's arguably one of the most complex characters in the new film, with the biggest overarching story and the biggest character arc in the film. Everything is introduced perfectly. Lupita Nyong'o's character, Maz Kanata, arrives at the perfect moment. Snoke is used properly. The evil element of Hux is used properly. The whole movie, and this might come as a criticism to some people, I don't think it is a homage to the original Star Wars A New Hope. And it doesn't steal from it. It borrows strongly from it, but it is just inspired by the greatness of the original movies. You know what, let's talk about negatives, alright? And they're hard. It's really hard, because I mean, just everything about this movie, the build up for the 3 years, which seem, now that we're here, to have gone like that, I can really only think of 3 negatives in this movie. Just 3. The first one, God, this is, and I'm reaching here. I'm really reaching here. But the first one, I would say, one of the elements I liked about the prequels, yes, God forbid, was at the end of The Phantom Menace, that epic piece of music, the Duel of the Fates music from John Williams. John Williams is back for The Force Awakens, but there was no moment here where there was a standout new piece of music. That disappointed me slightly. It's not, I mean, the music was great. It was as great to be expected. It, as I've already said before, it harkened back to the original trilogy and paid a beautiful homage to them in a kind of new remixed way. But there was no outstanding music in it, that, you know, nothing that new to mark this, the Force Awakens musically. The lightsaber fight, which obviously all Star Wars movies have, that usually ends up being the culmination of the movie. The lightsaber fight at the end wasn't bad. It was, you know, arguably better choreographed than any of the original trilogy, but that's because cinema choreography's come on a long way. But it's nothing like, you know, what I believe to be the best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars, and that's the Darth Maul fight with Ray Parker at the end of Phantom Menace. It's nothing like that, but based on who the characters are and where they are according to the story, it's forgivable. I won't spoil anything, but you make your own mind about that, because clearly you're going to go see this. And the last The last thing that I'd have to pick on would be the pacing of the movie. Though the introduction of characters coming in at certain moments, though character development was handled majestically, the actual pacing of the story felt a bit slow. But remember, I've said it already today, J.J. Abrams had a monumentally difficult task in erasing all the bad memories of the prequels, reintroducing the old characters after 30 years, both in real time and according to the storyline, having to reintroduce everyone, and having to introduce for the first time a host of new characters. And in that, though it sometimes slowed down the pacing of the movie as was necessary, as I said, I'm reaching here, the pacing was a little bit slow in parts. However, the payoff, my God, the payoff. I mean, what stood out to me above everything in the action scenes was what we all love. Not the lightsaber stuff, but the space battles, or just the above ground, the aerial battles. Unbelievable. And now we can't talk The Force Awakens without talking about one of the things which we're all expecting, and that is that feeling of nostalgia. There was one point when two characters are reunited, you might be able to guess, no spoilers, brought one tear to each of my eyes in the cinema, just overall joy. There's a few shock moments, one especially a big one. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because if I do, you'll kill me and you'll never watch the channel again. There's some shock moments, the nostalgia's handled brilliantly, the new characters are introduced. Guys, all in all, we needed this movie to be good, and we all owe a great debt of thanks to the direction of J.J. Abrams, to the script of Lawrence Kasdan, and the vision of Kathleen Kennedy and everyone at Lucasfilm for following J.J. Abrams in this reimagining, reintroduction, homage, and majestically told story of practical and CGI beauty that is Star Wars. Okay, so we're doing a review. So this is the first for the silver screeners. We need to give, if AJ's alright with this, we're going to be doing reviews out of 10. You will, as a disclaimer, you will very, very rarely see me give a 10 out of 10, simply on the basis of I don't believe there is such a thing as a perfect movie. So the review, okay, so the score I'm about to give, hear me. I love this new movie. I love it. But I've laid out the faults. I've said it's worth seeing more than once. I've seen it today, the first screening in Britain. I will be going again more than once. I will give this movie an 8 out of 10. There's no 10s. You will hardly ever see me give a 10. If I'm being generous, maybe 8.5 if I throw in the feeling of nostalgia. But, you know, to do a good review, you have to put the nostalgia aside. So I'm going to give it a very solid 8 out of 10, 80%. Absolutely worth seeing, worth buying on Blu-ray, worth seeing at the cinema. Guys, that is the first review of the Silver Screen Dudes, and expect many more where they came from. So as always, what was your favorite Star Wars movie? Have you seen this one yet, and what do you think of it? Do you agree with my score? Would you have given it higher or lower? What did you love about it? What did you hate? Leave your thought in the comments below. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, The Silver Screen Dudes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. And as always, guys, from me, Nico, The Silver Screen Dudes, see ya!